Dear friends, in this video I am going to talk elements of the scientific paper. Suppose you are writing a scientific paper, it should contain the following details: title, abstract or summary, introduction, methods or methodology, results, discussion, works cited or references, then appendices. These are the various elements of the scientific paper, and we will discuss one by one. So this is very important for the new persons entering into the research field. How to prepare a poster. Suppose you are constructing a house, you have to prepare the layout, where bedroom should be, where your dining room should be, where your kitchen should be, where your veranda and where your portico and so on. That is layout of your house. Likewise, in science and scientific writing and scientific presentation, also you have a layout. So poster presentation layout is given below. We will discuss one by one. Right? In left side, you have to give your logo, that is your organization logo and abstract number. Then center, you have to give the title that gives the study conclusion. The title should be large so that the text can be read from a distance of 8 to 10 feet, because the title is very bigger in size. Somebody is watching behind or far away from your poster, it should be visible and legible. So you have to give a large font size. Then below that you have to give the list of the authors. And in that you have to give, suppose your friend is going to, or you are going to present the poster, your name should be first and it should be underlined, followed by your colleagues. Suppose I am giving 3 members, means my name is first, I am going to present, so I have to give my first name, and that first name should be underlined. Then followed by either my guide or my co-researcher and so on. And below that you have to give your affiliations with contact details. That is, so I am from CSN Marine Biology, Annamalai University. That should be written, and below that I have to give my email address. Then abstract, that should be very important. It is summary of your work. Then introduction, in that you have to give background, rationale, objective, hypothesis if any. Then below that you have to give little bit methodology, also include experimental design and statistics used, what are the statistics used. Then results, provide clear content of the findings, highlighting the observations. Preferably use tables or graphs to clarify and depict the study results. Use headers, footers and legends. Avoid too many table and figure, it will confuse the readers. Then discussion part, you have to provide systematic interpretations of study results, bullet statement or find. Conclusion, include a summary of key findings, and you have to give key references, and finally you have to give acknowledgement, those who are supported to your work while you are doing your research. And you have to, suppose you are going to present in a conference, and below that presented at the annual conference of, what is the conference, and held, where it is, the place you have to write, and what is the date. Then left side, then your poster size will be 1.5 meter length and 1 meter width. It is recommended. So suppose your poster presentation, you are going for the poster presentation, you should follow this, and definitely your poster presentation will be will be good in nature. So that you have to follow this methodology, isn't it? So it is very, very important. The title, your poster should be begin with a title that briefly describes the content of the paper. The title itself, suppose in a cinema, right? Some cinema, in old cinemas, suppose you read the title, you will understand what is the content of the cinema, what should be. Because nowadays the title and the inner cinema, suppose we are seeing the title and we are going to the cinema theater, that will be different, right? The title is different, the play will be different. Suppose you are going to the cinema theater, the play will be different. But in scientific writing, isn't it? The poster should begin with the title that briefly describes the content of the paper. That is very important. Format, the title should be concentrated at the top of the poster. I already mentioned, it should be top. The title should be informative and specific, concise, understandable, as important words first, as no abbreviations. Right? So it is understandable. It should not confuse the reader. So that is very, very important. Then the title is descriptive and concise. All nouns are capitalized in the title. The title is centered on the page. Your names and data appear below the title. Abstract, that is function. An abstract summarizes the major aspects of the entire poster style. The abstract is an one paragraph summary of the work, including the question investigated, the methods used, the principal results and conclusions. Use the active voice and when possible, write your abstract using concise sentences. Use past tenses. So it is a brief story about your entire work. So summary is most of the scientists first go through the summary or abstract. Right? If it is good, they will go your detailed paper, detailed things. Isn't it? Otherwise, they skip away, isn't it? So it should be attract the scientist, those who are well versed in your subject. Contents, brief background, aim of the study, how will you go about the research, the information the research will provide. Lay, summarize or short account of research that are targeted at a general, non-expert audience. Begin writing the abstract or summary after you have finished writing your paper. Short, simple sentences. Sentences should be less than 25 words long. Don't use a long word where a short one will do. Examples: endeavor, try, facilitate, help, consequently, so advantages, helpful. Introduction. In the introduction part, you are introducing your subject. Suppose you are going a conference, some expert is talking in the conference, means invited as a expert. Suppose he is going to talk, means before that the organizers introduce him. What is his caliber? We call it brief biodata about the speaker, invited speaker. So introduction is this is introduction. In introduction, you have to introduce your subject. The introduction is a brief section designed to inform the reader of the relevance of your work and included a relevant background. Provide a clear statement of the rationale for your approach to the problem studied. Outlines your main objectives. Introductions usually follow a funnel style, starting broadly and then narrowing. Funnels from Known, a big picture signifies and previous work. Unknown, the specific gap in the knowledge. Question, there should be important, specific and unresolved. This is a funnel-like organization. Known means somebody is already done some work you have to give. That is starting point. Then what is the gap? What is missing in that study? What is the gap? And what you are going to fill up? So that is from starting from known to unknown. Finally, questions. So what is the questions regarding any questions regarding your work? So this is a funnel-like organization. Objectives. Several ways can be used to signal the research question. Example, to determine whether the purpose of the study was to, the study tested the hypothesis that, the study was understand to. So you have to begin like this. So what is your object? Then SMART objectives are very, very important. That is, it should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be realistic and time bound. So this is, we call it SMART. Even in not in research, suppose to reach the goal, if you want to reach the goal, right, you have to follow this specific, measurable, achievable and realistic. That is called SMART methodology to achieve the goals. In research also, the SMART objects are very, very important. Methodology function. In this section, you explain clearly how you carried out your study. The method section chronologically describes the process you undertook to complete the work. Results. The function of the results section is to objectively present your key results without interpretation in an orderly and logical sequence using both text and illustrative materials, tables and figures. Right? So your data, what you got, you are out of your work, you have to present this in for understanding. It is present in graph or figures. So that is very important because it is for easy understanding of the reader. Right? The anatomy of your table. First, in the top, you have to give the table title, and below that column headers, and central part is to data, then the row dubs, and you have to footnotes, we call it otherwise legends, and you have to write where, source, where you have taken. This is the anatomy of your table. When to use tables? Tables are useful when you need to present a quantity of numerical data in an accessible format, and you need to show exact numbers. So you have a data, numerical data, you have to logically present this in tables. Guidelines for tables. The title clearly describes what the table is about. The column heads are descriptive and clearly indicate the nature of the data presented. The data is divided into categories for clarity. It is self-contained. Sufficient spacing is present between columns and rows. The layout is clean and the font is legible. So this is the anatomy of figures. What is the x-axis? This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Right here you have to give a legend. That is anatomy of a figure. When to use line graphs? So line graphs is commonly used in research papers. Line graphs are especially effective at showing trends and relationship. That is how data changes over time, how two variables interact. So this is the line graphs. When to use bar charts? Bar charts or graphs are good when you want to compare discrete items The bars can be vertical or horizontal, making them different colors can help the readers to differentiate each results. For example, I am taking data in the learning center of different crabs, different crustaceans, starting from shrimps, prawns, and lobsters. So that is 1 year. So I have to present this in bar diagrams. In 2001 or 2021, for example, now 2021. So I am collecting the data. So in 2021, what is the number or what is the percentage of crabs? What is the percentage of this what you call crabs, prawns, shrimps, and so on. For that, you have to use bar diagrams. Then you have to go when to use pie diagrams. Pie charts show proportions of the whole that is taken by various parts. Just like previous, isn't it? You are collecting data in a learning center, starting from fishes and so many things, isn't it? So, what is the contribution of this? You are taking as 100, isn't it? What is the contribution of your crabs? 10% or 20%, or your prawns 20 or 30%? You have to give this in a pie chart. When to use drawings, photographs. Drawings and diagram can be used to reinforce or supplement textual information, or where something is more clearly shown in diagrammatic form. Photographs can be useful as illustrations that help to explain what is being discussed in the text. Guidelines for figures ensure image clarity. That is important. Most of the thesis I have seen, the image are not clear. So this figure should be, the image should be clear. A figure legend at the bottom draws the reader's attention to the graph's key points. Label all important parts. The informative title that immediately tells the reader the axes are labeled clearly, that is x-axis and y-axis. A note at the bottom acknowledges the source. Posters on illustrative abstract. The success of a poster directly related to the clarity of the illustrations and tables. Self-explanatory graphics should be dominated the poster. A minimal amount of text material should be supplement the graphic materials. Graphic material should be visible easily from a minimum distance of 5 feet. Restrain use of 2 to 3 colors for emphasis. This valuable overuse is not. Discussion. This section offers your interpretations and conclusions about your findings. How do your results relate to the goals of the study, and how to relate to the results that might have been expected from background information obtained in lectures. Demonstrate your ability to synthesize, analyze, evaluate, interpret, and reason effectively. Interpret your results, explain key limitations, discuss agreement or contrast with previously published work, offer general conclusions, recommend areas for future study. Discussion. Like a good story has a beginning, middle, and end. Beginning starts answer and summarize main findings. Middle explains answer and how it fits in with previous work. End gives final conclusion. 2 standard ways to conclude: restart, answer, and indicate importance of work. How by starting implications, applications, suggest future work. Reference. Importance of referring to support your opinion, to add credibility to the information you present, to enable the reader to trace the source you used, to avoid possible accusations of plagiarism. Citation and referring. You should include a reference for all sources of information that you use when writing. What is a citation? When you use another person's work in your own work, either by referring to their ideas or by including a direct quotations, you must acknowledge this in the text of your work. This acknowledgement is called as citation. Citation types. Citation can be of two basic types: informative, prominent citations, other prominent citation. So these are some of the important tips we have given how to prepare a poster. So what are the things should be added and included? This is I think especially the new researcher, it will be helpful. Thank you very much.